Hey guys, so I'm going to talk about a problem that plagues a lot of us, especially those of us who are in school usually but are on summer break right now, and that's called bed rotting. Basically, if you don't know, bed rotting is you're laying in your bed all day, you're not doing anything, you're probably just scrolling on TikTok, you're just laying, vegging out. And you might think after coming back from school and after being like, I'm finally done with finals, it's time to relax. And, laying down and just doing nothing sounds like it should be relaxing, but for some reason it's really distressing. Like, it's really, like, distressing sometimes to just be, like, in your bed all day, doing nothing, just in your house, scrolling on your phone. And, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why. I mean, like, social media is basically made to make you veg out and make you feel insecure and like fuel all of your anxieties and all of that. But I'm going to give you a few tips on how to actually rest and restore instead of rot. So, number one is kind of just change the location. Sometimes you really do just want to do nothing, and the thing isn't like, oh, I just want to do something. The thing is like, you do want to relax and you do want to do something low energy, but like for some reason you're just feeling like, yeah, I'm like laying here and I'm relaxing, but I'm not feeling good. The setting might be the problem. So the first thing you can do to fix this is clean your room. I know from personal experience that when I'm like laying unshowered, the room's a mess, I've just been eating junk food, whatever, and I'm scrolling on my phone, that's a nightmare. It's horrible. I feel sick to my stomach. I feel disgusted with myself. But just take a minute to just like get off your phone, get off the devices, maybe put on some music or something, but just clean. Like just clean. It doesn't have to be anything like super deep, but just like vacuum, wipe down, make your bed real quick, take a shower, take a nice shower. Get your nice soap, the scented stuff, get all like nice and squeaky clean, put on a big t-shirt and like then go on your phone. You know what I mean? Like just changing that like feeling of like feeling gross, because a lot of the time that's what the problem is that you feel gross. It's like, oh, I feel like such a slob just like scrolling on my phone. If you feel like a slob and you feel gross, clean your surroundings, and then that will, get off your device, clean your surroundings, clean yourself, and then that will kind of add to that clean feeling. It'll give you something to do besides be on your phone, and you can still like listen to your little music, then get on your phone. Sometimes it just happens. So if you are going to have one of those days, be clean and have one of those days, because I feel like that really helps. So that's what to do if your, feelings of like sadness and disgust are coming from like yourself and feeling like you're not clean, then I would suggest that. But sometimes it's something else. Sometimes you're on your phone and, maybe you are clean and your room is clean, but you're like, I still feel like I don't want to be doing this. Then here are some things you can do that don't cost a lot of money and don't require exerting a lot of energy. Because I know like that's the thing, is like you're feeling a little tired and lethargic and you're like, I want to do something, but I can't think of anything to do that's not expensive or not gonna like cause problems, or like that doesn't take too much energy, and I don't want to put energy into this new thing. Here's what you can do. This one's really simple. You can like take like literally like anything, like a rock. You can like paint a rock, take like a trinket, something like recognizable though, and that you kind of don't care about, or maybe you kind of wanted to get rid of. Take it, put it somewhere in your neighborhood, like put it on someone's lawn or put it like somewhere at the park, and like maybe write on the back of it or leave a note with it that says like, you can keep this, or you can like re-hide it or something. So then mine was like a rock. I had like this painted rock that I got a while ago, and I just always had it in my room, and I was like, on the back it says re-hide it or keep it. And I was like, I've kept this for a while. Let me like re-hide it. So I put it somewhere in my neighborhood today, and then tomorrow I'm going to go back and see if someone took it. I know that sounds like really simple and maybe a little bit dumb, but like it's something that doesn't take a lot of energy. You just have to go walk to somewhere in your neighborhood. It doesn't have to be far, you don't have to drive. Walk somewhere relatively close, just put it down and like leave and then come back the next day and see if anyone took it or if anything happened. Not only does it get you outside, it gets you like something to like look forward to. Kind of next day you can wake up and you can go on a walk, which is like active, and you can also like look, oh, did they take it? And then like if it's still there, maybe you could go and like hide it somewhere else or somewhere more obvious. The next thing you could do, which might require a little money because you have to like drive there or get there somehow, but like look up in your city if there are any just like free gardens, like or just like beautiful like nature spots to go to. You don't even have to go on a hike or do anything extra. Just look up like little like trails or like lakes or like gardens and just like go and like sit there, and you can take a book, you can take your headphones and just be in nature, because maybe you're on your headphones and maybe you like have your headphones in, you're on your phone, and maybe you're still scrolling, but at least you're like in nature. At least you went somewhere. So like that's kind of the same as like changing your scenery a little bit and like changing what's around you, because like you can go on like a leisurely walk. Like this is not like, oh, like I'm rotting in bed, because I feel like a lot of times what people do is when they're rotting in bed they like want to overhaul their whole life, or at least that's what I want to do. I'm like, I should be exercising, I should be starting a business, I should be making art, I should be da 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 da. And it's like, okay, if you feel like so low that you just want to bed rot, maybe the first step is to just change the scenery. Another thing you can do that's kind of similar to the rock thing is like you can write nice like notes, like little corny like encouraging notes, and leave it on people's like cars, because that's another thing. You're just in your neighborhood, you don't have to go far, you can literally just get like a piece of paper and markers. It doesn't have to be special or like super fancy. You can just write little like kind notes and whatever and put them on people's cars. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same thing as the rock thing or the hiding something thing, but this time it's like it's actually for the better of your neighborhood. It's like a community service act. Another thing you can do is if you're just like really bored with maybe the monotony of your daily routine, um, you can. This one also takes a little driving, but instead of like taking a walk in your neighborhood, go to another neighborhood in your city, specifically a nicer neighborhood. And this is like a little bit like manifesting, I guess you could say, but basically when you walk, you're like when you go to like a nicer neighborhood to like maybe just take a walk there or maybe just sit at a cafe, like do what you would normally do in your neighborhood but do it somewhere nicer. Because I feel like it like programs your mind into like being used to nicer things and like expecting and like being familiar with nicer, like more upscale things, and then maybe you'll like attract those things more. So, I mean, that's what I did. Like my neighborhood, by the way, isn't like trashy or anything, but you know, there are definitely nicer, like much more rich areas, and if you go like just walk there, then it just gives you like more things to look at, new things to look at, nicer things to look at. And okay, this is like another thing. Maybe if you're like seen around like nicer areas, a rich hot person will maybe see you. I don't know. I'm not saying that's probably going to happen, but like you never know. Like maybe you're just underappreciated in your neighborhood. Maybe when you walk around your neighborhood, people don't notice, but like you go to somewhere nicer and they'll be like, I've never seen this person before, and it might pique their interest. You don't know. Another thing you can do just to break up the monotony of like maybe you're like just on your phone every day, or you take the same walk every day but you don't want to like venture out to like a different area or take a different way because you're afraid of getting lost. this one this is where we're getting into more expensive territory, more not like super expensive, it doesn't have to be, but like territory of you have to put a little money into this. Roller skates. You roller skate instead of walk. If you can't roller skate, maybe on the streets isn't the best place to learn, but that gives you another thing to do, go to the roller rink. But if you already feel generally comfortable roller skating, like just roller skate instead of walk. Because I understand that like a bike is usually a lot more expensive, and not everyone wants to like skateboard or whatever. Whatever's cheapest and most available to you if you're tired of going on walks, just like go on a skate, you know? Another like mindset change you could have to like motivate yourself to do more things is literally treat yourself as if you're a child and take yourself on field trips. I'm not kidding. Like kind of like treating yourself as a child almost, not like in a gross like odd way, but like thinking like, okay, if I like had a kid that I was like babysitting and they were bored, what would I take them to do? I went to the aquarium with my sister, and it was like very like fun because I feel like most people like don't go to like the zoo or the aquarium past the age of like 9. So yeah, taking yourself on like trips. I'm gonna go to like the toy store as well because I'm gonna like try to get my dad like a gift, like a board game that my whole family can play, and I'm gonna like really try to look for something like interesting and not just like the same kind of like board games that we already have, or like I'm gonna try to find something unique. So like go to a toy store, go to an aquarium, go to the zoo, go to like some cool thing that like if you were babysitting a kid and they were like, I'm bored, I want to do something, where would you take them? That is also one that could cost money depending, you know. Let's say you're in a situation where it's 4 p.m. and you've already spent all day in your bed. And you're like, well, it's already too late. What can I do? Here's what you can do. Wash your face, do your skincare if you haven't already, put on a new outfit. Even if you're not going to go outside, like change into your daytime pajamas. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes if you're in the house all day, you have like the pajamas that you wore all day and then you change into the nighttime pajamas or something. Change your clothes. Even if it's like still pajama pants and still a t-shirt, just like change it. Okay? And what you're going to do, you're going to go on YouTube and look up a very, very like easy like yoga routine and a short one because you're already rotting, you already don't want to do anything. Put on like a like literally like 10-minute beginner yoga thing. And I say yoga because usually it's like lower impact and it's like a way to work out but without like sweating because like if you're already lethargic, the last thing you want to do is like do a push-up. Then you should make yourself a beverage or get yourself one out of the fridge, whatever you want. It could be soda, it could be tea, it could be coffee, whatever. Just get whatever you like, and you're just going to go outside and drink it. That could be on your front porch, that could be on your balcony, your patio, whatever. Just go and like drink your beverage outside. Try not to have your phone with you. If you have to have your phone with you, have it like playing music or an audio and not like looking at it. And just like drink your beverage, just like kind of look at the sun. Not, okay, don't look at the sun, but like just kind of look at nature, soak up the sun, soak up like whatever nature is left out. You can still be listening to your music or your podcast or your video, whatever, but just like sit and don't like chug it, just like leisurely sip your drink. And I know this all sounds very like, oh, I could have thought of that, but you didn't because you were still rotting till 4 p.m. I think like that's the best thing to do if it's like later in the day and you're like, oh shoot, I haven't done anything. Get like the lightest of lightest workouts in. Change your clothes into something still comfortable but just clean. Be outside. Just go outside, okay? Another thing I would do, if you find yourself like constantly in this pattern of like doom scrolling, bed rotting, whatever, if you're like, this is like a chronic issue, like I cannot escape this, like my day-to-day is just like so like boring and terrible, go look up volunteer opportunities in your city and find the closest or soonest one and volunteer like at like as much as you can, because you're meeting people, you're doing something, it looks good on applications for jobs and schools and whatever. And I swear, like, every single like issue that I think a lot of people have like comes from the fact that they don't feel a purpose. And even if you don't make a career out of helping people, like even if you don't like become a nurse or become like a Habitat for Humanity person, if you make it a part of your life to do to be of service to other people, it genuinely will help you so much. Like you it's crazy cuz like obviously it's like it's pretty well known that like it feels good to help other people for the most part, but like I can't like overemphasize how much like the majority of I think a lot of people's problems, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say majority of everyone's problem, but like the type of people, if you're like me, if you're one of those people who your main problems come from like in your head and not like I'm exhausted because I'm overexerting myself at work, or I'm exhausted because I just have so much on my plate. If you're the type of person like me who can just like totally fall into like wallowing in your own self-pity and just being like I'm so lethargic, I'm so nothing's worth it. If you that's where if most of your problems come from you, and like your outside world is actually like fine, it's actually boring, and like so you're creating problems, you absolutely need to volunteer. You need to help people. Go make lunches for homeless people. Go, I would say like with an organization, so you're like interacting with people as well. Go volunteer at the soup kitchen. Go like volunteer to like pick up the trash from like the beach or the lake or like the park. Literally like anything like that. That will help you so much and make it a part of your like weekly routine to do something like that. It will help you so much more than like literally anything else I just said. Like everything else I just said is more for like if you are having like a day like that or like a few days. But if you're like chronically like this, like me, you like absolutely need to help other people in any way you can. Another thing you can do is just make like lists and to-do lists to follow that are usually like relatively simple. Like I said, it's probably not a good idea to overhaul your whole life and say, "Okay, so starting today, I'm going to read a book a week and I'm going to like work out for an hour every single day and I'm going to eat healthy and I'm going to like no, like just don't do that, but start like do something like okay, I'm going to like challenge myself to like read 10 pages a day. And maybe that's literally the only thing you do all day besides scrolling. At least it's something. Like, I feel like what can help you get out of that in baby steps is like doing what you want to do, but on like the smallest scale possible. Like, starting at the smallest scale. You want to like read more instead of like being constantly on your phone or on your computer. Read literally like 5 pages, even. Read 5 pages of a book. And then, you know, you want to start working out, do literally as many push-ups as you can, even if that's like 3, or like as many squats as you can. Like it like cuz like trying to go from rotting all day immediately into I'm going to build a whole workout routine and I'm going to spend all day at the gym. I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. I would start small. Another thing you can do is you can sign up for some kind of like 5K or run that's a bit farther in the future so you can like train up to that, but like in like short increments. So like don't sign up for one that's like going to be next week. Sign up for one that's in like 3 months. If today you sign up, you can run for like 1 minute, walk for 10. Run 1 minute, walk for 10. And then the next day run 2 minutes, walk for 10. You know, like every day, like do something smaller and smaller. So like plan to go on like a run or go on some big hike, but like make it like far in the future, because those are like things that I think are kind of the opposite of like doom scrolling, because like when you're scrolling like that, it's like the quick dopamine hits, you're getting stuck in this like evil loop of like, ooh, that's a funny video, oh, that's a funny video, and it's just like you're sitting there doing nothing, accomplishing nothing, not even feeling good, but you're like getting the rush of like good feeling. So if you pick something to do that's like far in the future, then like you're making yourself do something that isn't immediately paid off. So you're like kind of like in like a small way, even if you're only training like very short amounts of time at first, you're still like giving yourself the opportunity to get a kind of sense of accomplishment or a sense of happiness that isn't immediate, so it gets you out of that like mindset. So even if you're like, oh my god, I like totally don't want to run, or okay, if you don't want to run, don't sign up for a 5K, but if you're like, okay, I want to like maybe try to run, so I'm gonna sign up for a 5K. If it's June, maybe you're gonna sign up for one that's in like September, you know, for like Labor Day or Memorial Day or whatever one's in September. That way you have time, you're not rushing yourself, you're not trying to overhaul your whole life. You're just saying, hey, I'm going to try to do this thing. If you've never run before, I wouldn't set a goal of, I'm going to run the entire 5K, but just saying, I'm going to complete it and I'm going to run like half of the time. You know what I mean? Because a 5K is like 3 miles, so maybe you say, I'm going to run like 1.5 miles of the 5K. And, or maybe even just 1 mile. Or maybe you're like so out of shape that you're like, for me to even walk that long would be an accomplishment. Wherever you're at, just set a goal that will take you a while to accomplish. That could be a fitness thing, that could be like an art project. Like maybe you want to make like some really cool like painting. Literally draw one aspect of it on the canvas today or on the piece of paper. Draw like one little thing of it. Even if you draw one little thing of it a day, by the time you're done, it will be like, okay, that was like an accomplishment and that felt good, but it wasn't like immediately rewarded. It was like something that I built up to. Another thing I would really suggest is going through old clothes and just old stuff in general. Like, if you can do a deep clean of your room, I feel like it's always good to clean and do something with your hands so that you can't like be on your phone. You can't really like clean and be on your phone. You know what I mean? So like that's why I would, like I said, you know, put on music or whatever. But then like you're cleaning, really like be discerning about what you want to keep and what you don't, and then take all of the stuff you don't want and like get any kind of clothes selling app. Get on Facebook Marketplace, get on Depop, Poshmark, even like maybe do a yard sale, because then you're doing something besides being on your phone. You're doing something that can help your physical like space around you, and you can make money. So it's like, you know, you did the accomplishment of cleaning your room. You're like using critical thinking by thinking, okay, do I really want this? Am I really going to need this? And then boom, you're getting money. I think everyone should like get on Depop or like get on some kind of like selling app or website like eBay, anything. This one also takes a little bit of money, or, you know, a gym membership or something. But I think like for me, why I didn't go to the gym is like it just seemed really intimidating because I didn't know what to do. So if you're like not wanting to go to the gym because you're intimidated, I would look to see if your gym has classes, or go to some kind of like rec center or anything around you, if you have the money for it, and look for classes instead of like just going and doing your own thing, because that for me always stresses me out. Just go to a class, because then the pressure's off you to decide what to do. Now you just have to follow the teacher. Try to, well, you could do this with your phone, like just go somewhere that you usually go and just like take pictures of like little minute details. And you could do that with your phone camera, but I feel like getting a digital camera is fun, or a disposable camera, because a digital camera is kind of expensive. So I got this one, and it's like underwater. Like it can work underwater, so I think that's cool. I'm gonna take it to the pool. So yeah, I hope that somewhat helped you get some kind of inspiration or motivation to just do something and get out of that like cycle in your head. And if it did, leave a comment. And if it didn't, and you hate this advice and you think it's horrible, and you think, I'm stupid and I should shut up and die, also leave that in the comments too. I love feedback. And if you decided to like do something that I said in the video, or you have a different idea, also leave that in the comments. And subscribe. Bye.